imagine that you go to somebody's house and you've never been there before. You heard about them. They heard about you. For whatever reason, they invited you over. You're not really sure what to expect. You don't know, but there's some potential because somebody referred them and they were, okay, so you're at their door. And as you walk up to the door, the mat says, "Go away, fucking loser." Shit, the fuck is, that's not a warm welcome. And you're like, okay, now I feel kind of weird. And as you go to push the doorbell, the little plaque above the doorbell says, "You suck." You're going to be like, what the fuck? Do I want to go in their house? If that's what they have on the front, do I want to go in there? Okay. And we have a sign at the entrance where the air comes in. And a lot of people, the sign on there where the air comes in. Now, this is the air that's infinite, unlimited source, disguised as what we call air because we're hypnotized to this physical, narrow reality. Okay. So we think we know what air is. We got no fucking clue. We think, oh, it's oxygen, hydrogen, and we don't have any fucking idea what any of that is or what it means. Well, yes, we do. It's atoms. It's atoms of hydrogen. We don't know what the fucking atom is. We're pretending on hierarchies of hierarchies that we have any knowledge of anything when we have less than no knowledge of anything. And the only problem is what we know. Okay. So here we are. The air, infinite, unlimited magic that can come in infinite abundance and rearrange and dissolve any structure in our body. And you know what we do? We meet it at the door with a welcome sign that goes. And the air is like, I don't know if I want to go in there. And when it does go in, it passes through make miserable tissues. That's what it passes through. This is that's how a disease, I asked you yesterday, if the whole body's remade in less than 2 years, how the fuck does a disease stay for 3? Hello, somebody please wake up and answer this question for me. I'm healing and becoming my perfect whole self once again. I acknowledge that up until now, I've had these symptoms and all this other shit. I have no fucking idea what it is. And I accept that none of the authorities that I've been going to, with all of us patting each other on the back about our expertise in all the subjects that we know so much about. I don't know shit about shit. And neither do they. I unsubscribed from all of those lists, one by one. If we don't revisit the problems of the past, we are destined to recreate them. Wrong. Wrong. One of the biggest, most fundamental lies in the entire educational system on purpose. They know that if they keep us focused on problems, that's what we'll have and that we'll be controllable. Of course, we created them too, so let's don't blame them. Infinite, unlimited, complete, perfect being. Love, joy, peace, bliss, serenity, projecting out of eternity, out of heaven, into the illusion of time and space to have experience. What the fuck are you going to do? Bliss more? No! Make me hurt. Show me I'm unlovable, please. Ooh, could you really make it hurt? I need you to be like my mom and do that shit. Be my mom and show me I'm not worthy and not lovable. That's going to rock. And every time we took an inhale, gasping in anger, sadness, fear, or physical shock, or all of the above, every time, that energy poof, got stuck in. And it began to condense into structures and forms in our seeming, ever more physical seeming body. Now, Einstein said, physical reality is an illusion. It's a very persistent one, but it's just an illusion. Right? Ain't no physical body here. But with this illusion, we're so focused on it. We're so hypnotized on it. Use your head. Use your head. Use your head. Use your head. Everybody's talking about nowadays, everybody's waking up to how the gut is the second brain. Bullshit. It's the first brain. That's where the umbilical cord started, babe. So healing that gut is job one. Bringing that gut back to wholeness. Getting the GMOs out any traces of them, and all of the antibiotics and all the GMO stuff that has ever touched that gut, completely getting the glyphosate out and getting the full spectrum of probiotics back in. I now understand why a lot of people weren't having success with probiotics. Fucking GMOs killing them as fast as we put them in. They're not. Breathe. Just keep breathing. Okay? We all had violation experiences as kids. It's part of the admission to Planet Earth school. Okay? That's all it is. And of course, none of it happened. And boy, holy shit, all the emotions they seem very real. And we just have to come back to love. And it's all, this was so awesome. I've been saying this with people that have sat with me recently, and you asked me something yesterday, or you said something, and I said, it's all the self. So it's all love, and it's all the self. Self-love is everything, and everything is the self.
Totally got it.
Ain't that some good shit? Self-love is everything, and it's all the self. So close your eyes and feel the soles of your feet, and just send your awareness right down into the soles of your feet and just love them. Why are my feet whole and perfect and complete? Why are my feet whole and perfect and complete? Why do I have this amazing supernatural ability that's so natural to feel my feet, to actually move my awareness straight down into my feet, feel my feet, and feel the wholeness and the perfection and the vibrating buzz of life in my feet, to feel the circulation buzzing with life and vibrance and beauty in the soles of my feet. Why am I allowing in the fact that this is a miracle beyond my wildest dreams, beyond anybody's wildest dreams, to be able to have this experience of body and move my awareness wherever the fuck I want? And why am I able to move my awareness like this? Why am I mastering? Why am I the ninja master at moving my awareness to wherever I want it to be and feeling it, feeling the wholeness and tapping into the perfection in the same way? And why do I know what Brian's talking about? And why do I understand that in the same way that he looks at me and sees only perfection, I can feel my feet and feel only perfection? What a miraculous gift. And why do I know secretly behind the scenes in the deepest levels that feeling the perfection in my feet cultivates the perfection in my feet and allows the perfection in my feet? And as I feel my ankles and I yummy, yummy, yummy little bones and sinews, and I can swirl and twist and spin, and I can flex my ankle this way and I can turn it that way. Why am I allowing in what an absolute ridiculous miracle this is, that I can send my awareness? I have these incredibly complex structures that are so unbelievably simple that I can send my awareness into my ankle and twist and move and manipulate it and feel the wholeness and the perfection of the way those nerves conduct so flawlessly, and I cannot deny it. Why did I finally decide to stop denying that shit? That I am perfect and whole and complete, and why am I feeling it? Why does it feel so fucking good? And why am I basically ready to go out and run around the block if that's what I want to do? Why do I finally admit that I literally can turn all, there's no on ramps, there is no building up time necessary, there is no recovery, none, all those are just ideas. Why is it true that I could jump up and run around the fucking house screaming at the top of my lungs, naked, with a towel twisted into a turban around my butt? Why could I do that right now? I wouldn't be naked if I did that, but why am I letting it in that I could do that shit right now? I could go run around the block. I could actually put on a swimsuit and I could run around the block right now, and that cold will not harm me, because I know that secretly beyond it all, I'm not physical in the first place. I finally let it in. Why did I let it in? That people get in these cryo tanks at 25,000 degrees below zero and they're fine. Why is it that I understand that some people they get in a shower and they go from ice cold to hot to ice cold to hot to ice cold to hot, and they're in total bliss, and it actually strengthens their nervous system? Why is it true that I am infinite, unlimited, complete, perfect being? Now feel your hands and feel your hands and feel the palms of your hands and feel the perfection in your hands and feel how every nerve in your body is conducting flawlessly. You can't deny it. Why did I finally stop denying it? Why am I letting in that I am whole and perfect? Now, I am actually letting in for the first time in my life that I actually can be totally free. I can be free in my marriage. I can be free of my marriage. I can be free whether I'm married or not. I am actually free now. Why am I letting that in? That this entire thing is a dream. And up until now, when I looked at some of the things I had created in my life, I thought, ooh, shit, I don't know the way out of that. Well, fuck, I'm the one who found the way in. I'll bet I can find the way out. But maybe I don't even have to go out. Maybe I can just find my freedom within and watch those things change on their own. Haven't there been things in the past that have changed that I didn't think would change? Oh my God, who thought that big guy would say, yes, you can do a session with Brian? Who thought that shit was, now that was impossible and ridiculous, and it fucking happened, okay? So why am I letting this in? Why am I finally letting in that I can actually have absolutely everything that I want, that the money situation can resolve magically as it always has? Everything can change beyond my wildest fucking dreams. If Brian could be chained to a wall, and I know that he was, I know there's truth in that story that he told me, how is it that I finally let that in? Why did I finally let it in that I'm actually already free and that everything's already perfect and that everything can change if I just allow myself to continue to feel my perfection? Now, feel your hip bones and feel your butt. Hip bones in your butt, just feel those and just feel how perfect they are. Feel how you can feel the buzzing in the marrow of your bones by simply moving your awareness there. Why am I such a miracle? Why is it that I get the miraculous experience of seeming to have a body, and I have this ability to send my awareness any fucking where that I want to send it? I can send it to my palms of my hands, the soles of my feet. I can send it to my butt. I can send it next door. I can send it around the block. Send it out to the sun. Send your awareness out to the sun and feel the sun. And feel that the scale that you're choosing, it's just warm. At the scale that you're choosing, just feel how warm the sun is. And go into the very center of it and feel the liquid warmth. And feel that there is no question your awareness is in the sun right now. Why did I finally let in that I actually have these abilities? I've kind of known it and I've let it come and go. Why did I finally decide to just, you know what, I'm God, fuck it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Why did I finally unsubscribe from all of the I'm a fucked up failure lists? Why did I unsubscribe from all of the lists that have been sending me an endless stream of messages about sickness, disease, poverty, difficulty, stress in relationships, being controlled and dominated by men? Why did I finally just unsubscribe from all of it and realize it's just as true? The opposite is just as true as everything that I've been experiencing. Why am I finally letting that in? And as I do, why do I feel the joy rising back within me? It's always been there. That's actually who and what I am. Why am I finally willing to allow joy to live in me as much as I've been letting pain? Why am I willing to actually turn that tide? Why is it okay for me to feel good if I fucking want to? Why am I finally letting it be okay for me to feel good if I want to? And why did I finally admit, you know what, I actually do want to feel good. I actually do want to feel good. And I actually do want to do some things. There's some things in this world that I actually really want to do. I'm excited to do them. It would be fun to do them. I'm going to fucking do them. I don't care what anybody else says. I forgive everybody. I'm not faulting anybody. Pete, whether I actually go through with ending my partnership with you, whether I don't, doesn't matter. I fucking love you. I forgive you. You showed up and did exactly what I asked for. You perfect, amazing asshole, you, who is also my brother and actually is me. And I love you with all my heart while honoring. You have sure been a dick to me sometimes. And you've been a dick to yourself and your family and to Brian and other people. And I forgive you for all of it because you were only doing what I asked you to do. It's perfect. I literally am not only having no fault with you, I am actually grateful. Why am I finally grateful? When I begin to realize all those things they ever did were exactly what I asked for. That's all it was. Why did I finally let that shit in? That all that anyone has ever done was what I asked for. Why am I letting that in? Even that too. And why is that okay? Why is that okay? And why in my accepting of it, does it actually make it even more magical and effortless for me to release the emotions around it, where I don't have to choke the shit back up into my ass doing my perpetual groundhog? I can actually take the dump, flush the motherfucker, and walk away. Oh, that's done. That's been done. I'm here now. Why do I want to carry that shit around for? What good is that? Why did I finally lay it down to say, you know what? Flush, boom, walk away, grow some flowers. I'll be back when you smell better. Why did I finally let that in? Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did everything change? And why did my health miraculously, completely turn back to wholeness? And why is it that I don't want to deny it or fight it anymore? I want to just allow the wholeness of my perfect body. Why is that I just want to allow the wholeness of my perfect body? Why am I doing? Why is it okay? Why is it okay? Why did I let go of the idea that I need to pay? Why did I finally let go of the idea that I need to suffer for what I did? Why did I finally let go of the ideas of anything related to sin or punishment or retribution or restitution? Why did I let all that shit go? And when I did, why did everything change? And why am I finding my life becoming so much more magical? And why this time? Why now? Why here? And why now did I finally set myself up for the readiness that as it starts to get more and more the way I want, I can allow that to continue rather than turning again? Why did I finally unsubscribe from the, oh shit, it's getting good, what's about to go wrong school? Why did I finally unsubscribe from their newsletter? Why did I finally let in the truth that there is, as there was no floor to the low depths of pain and suffering that I could experience? Why did I finally let in that there is no ceiling on the awesomeness and the joy and the bliss and the miracles and the connection and the love and the true, honest, authentic sharing and expression in my relationships? Why did I finally let that shit in? I don't need anybody's fucking approval. I mean, that was a fun game while it was, but actually it wasn't that fun. Why did I finally let in that approval is shit in the light of love? I choose love. Why did I finally decide to choose love? Why did I finally choose to love? Why did I finally decide to choose love? And when I did, why did everything change? Why is it okay for me to just cry and not hold it back and choke it in? Why am I not going to do the groundhog shit anymore? Why am I actually going to let the turd, here it is, let it out. I'm just going to feel it and let the emotion flow through. And I'm going to breathe big enough and deep enough to actually this time let the emotion actually out, to allow it to express, to let that little girl that's been carrying that pain tied up in herself for all these years, to let her just express it so that she can be free of it, so that she can reemerge into my infinite energetic field with all of her knowledge and talents and resources and skills and creativity, so that I can dance naked on the table when I damn well want to. Okay. Like a pogo stick of joy, bouncing up and down on the table, tits flopping, and everything else in total absolute bliss. Whether there's an audience or not, I don't really give a diggity damn doodah. This is for me. I'm going to make a video and watch it later. Why did I finally let in that I am here for joy and love and peace and fun and magic? Why did I finally let that shit in? Why did I finally realize that being whole is exactly a choice, exactly as was the illusion of sickness? Why did I finally let in? I was choosing this shit the whole time. I knew it in the back of my mind. I was denying it. I was pretending. I was surrounding myself with people who would help me to keep up the illusion. Why did I finally let in that wholeness is a choice just like illness, and I choose wholeness and health and fun? Why did I finally let that shit in? Why did I finally let in that money can actually be fun? What if it's okay for me to have money? What if the shit that I did as a kid didn't actually mean that if I got rich later I would suffer? What if that was just an illusion as well? What if when I stole that cookie, it didn't mean that I would pay for the rest of my fucking life? What if when I told that lie, it didn't actually set me up to suffer? Only my belief in it did. And now I forgive myself for everything. Everything that I ever did was exactly what I was here to do, to have the experience that I chose, and I did it, and here I am now, and I can completely realize and notice once again, feeling my butt, feeling my hands, feeling my feet. Oh my God, I can do that all at once. I feel my feet, I feel my hands, I feel my butt. Oh my God, I'm gonna feel my scalp too and really have some fun. Wow. And when I realize that I can do that, why do I finally realize that I am infinite, unlimited, complete, perfect, eternal being with abilities and capacities that I completely forgot, completely hidden from myself, including, why did I finally realize and remember that I have the ability to pretend that I am not walking slowly towards the fucking abyss, pretending that I don't see it, pretending that I don't know it, surrounding myself with people who act as blinders so that I can pretend even more effectively that I don't see it? And why can I stop even as I am falling over the ledge and realize that I never left God's lap, and that I am that God whose lap I'm eternally safe in? Love, joy, peace, serenity, bliss. Relax your face and breathe. And I can actually choose to be the witness. I can wake up and be conscious and say, do I really want to go over the cliff into the abyss of pain or not? I can actually consciously now choose and admit that I was choosing the whole fucking time. I admit it. Why did I finally decide to let it in? I was choosing the whole time. I was pretending. Jesus Christ, I can build some convoluted bullshit to convince myself that I don't see what I'm doing and that I don't know what I'm doing. And no, I'm not doing this thing that I'm doing as I look in the mirror at myself, watching myself. Why did I finally realize, wow, I was doing it. I admit that I was doing it, and I'm not even going to fault myself for that. I'm just going to, oh, well, that was fun. Boy, I must have had a reason for that. I don't know what the hell it was. I don't need to know what it was. I'm just going to start now. And I allow wholeness in. Why did I finally let wholeness in? And when I did, why did everything change? Why do I realize that even in this very moment, my brain is rearranging as I breathe? The atoms are flowing in and rearranging my brain right back to the pattern of perfection that I create now as I choose now to project out of eternity into time and space for experience. This wasn't created then, it's creating now, and I'm the one doing it. And why do I realize that I can go back to that pattern of perfection instantaneously, or I can take as long as I want? And I love the part of me that wants to do it right now. I love the part of me that wants to take a little bit of time. I love the part of me that's still not quite sure if it's really okay for me to be totally healthy, happy, fun, and living in joy in my relationships. But you know what? I give her a big hug and I say, come here, baby. Let's be honest. What do you really want? What do you really want? Come here, honey. I know you feel that way. Of course, honey, with what you've been through, how could you not feel that way? Of course you do. Come here. Can I hug you now? Are you done suffering? And I just pull her in and I invite her in. I say, oh, no. Of course, I'm not faulting you. I understand why you felt that way. Of course you felt that way. What else could you feel after what you saw? Oh, and of course you were afraid of that. How could you not be after what you experienced? But honey, what if you just reached conclusions from your level of perception that weren't actually true? And what if you've been living those false conclusions ever since? What if it's okay to be happy? What if it's okay to be healthy? What if it's okay to realize that you're the universe? I know you got all those voices around you telling otherwise, but that's only because you brought them in to convince you that you were right. Realize that every voice you've ever heard outside of you was inside of you. Every voice you've ever heard outside of you, every phrase, your favorite quotes are only your favorite quotes because they're your favorite quotes. Everybody that's ever said anything outside of you was you, voicing what was inside of you that you wouldn't let yourself hear from within. Why'd you finally let that in? And when you did, why did everything begin to change? And why is this wisdom that's flowing through the air and through the wireless and through Brian's weird ass voice and through these weird ass ears and through my soul, why is it that these voices are so clear? And why is it that this time they're touching the deepest connections and bringing back not something to remember or forget, but something that I already know that's inside of me, that's permanent, that's unshakable? And why am I finally willing to move my awareness there again? If I can feel these temporary feet, temporary butt cheeks, temporary hands, if I can reach out and touch that temporary sun, it's just temporary. It's just a sand castle. It's going to blow away and be remade and remade endlessly with nothing ever being lost. Why am I finally willing once again to move my awareness back into the truth of my eternal perfection and my limitless capacity, competence, capability, clarity, confidence, certainty? Why do I no longer need to know? I don't know how I would solve that relationship. I don't know how I would solve that. Why do I finally realize once again, and this time permanently, that I don't need to know how to do any of it? All I get to do is choose to focus on my wholeness and watch everything turn to align with that. Jesus Christ, I've been preaching it for years. I'm like, I want to live it for a minute. I don't know. Why did I finally let that in? And why did I realize, yes, I've been an absolute fucking hypocrite, and I love that part of myself. Of course, I mean, what else could I have done with what I learned and what I went through? What else could I have done? I had no other choice. If I had another choice, I would have done it. And now that I realize this, I can choose again. Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did everything change? Why am I aware right now, undeniably, that this conversation is tapping into the eternal truth of me? And everything up until this moment was just rocks skimming across the water. This time, I am the ocean. I am eternal. I'm the source of all the oceans. I'm that which lets the illusion of oceans appear, and I am the one swimming in that motherfucker. And all the fish poop that just went in my ear. I am it. I am it. I'm all of it, and I'm the source of it. Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did everything start to change? And why did I just now turn my attention again and realize, oh my God, my body is completely restructuring itself as I sit here breathing and smiling and soaking in the love that I am. My whole body's completely regenerating at the deepest cellular levels. Clusters of cells, giant systems of cells that were in complete agreement of illness have let it go. And they're saying, oh yeah, wholeness. Yeah, we'll go with that for a little while. See what's up with that. Why is that happening? And I can feel it undeniably. I feel my organs. I feel the wholeness of my spleen, my liver, my pancreas, my thyroid singing its song. From my mouth to my butthole, a channel of awesomeness that light flows in, just like my eyes, just like my ears, just like my nose, just like every atom, every cell in my body, an antenna picking up the love that it all was, and this time willing to see it all as the love that it is. Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did everything change? Why do I feel so amazing, and why am I willing to feel so amazing, and why do I never have to go back to anything? When I realize there's no ceiling, I can just ascend infinitely. New baselines of awesomeness in every area of life, every topic, moment to moment to moment. Why am I willing to breathe deeper than I ever have? Why am I willing to take this and realize, wow, this is awesome. This is amazing. This is so much better than yesterday. And this ain't hardly even scratching the surface of the awesomeness that's here available, waiting for me right now, literally waiting for me to just rise up into it. And no, I really don't know. Quite frankly, I don't know what the fuck's up with me and my husband. I have no clue. I have no idea. And I finally realized that I don't have to. It'll be what it is, and it'll change the way it changes, and I'll be just as infinite and complete and eternal no matter which way it goes. And if I'm allowing in the eternal perfection, then I'll be infinitely more resourced to affect the outcomes. It's so funny. While I'm believing I'm this little turd and I'm struggling against this giant impossibility, the minute I switch and I just let myself be infinite, those things start to change on their own. I was guaranteeing that I couldn't change it by doing it the way that I was. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. I was guaranteeing that I would feel weak and powerless and hopeless. And I was making choices that would guarantee that I would perceive myself to be that way. Wow. And in so many relationships, what a trip. Boy, I am a creator. That was amazing. Look at those fucking circus relationships that I had created for myself. And you know what? They're going to be as loving as I'm willing to allow them to be. And what if my relationship with my husband, what if it could be, in a way, similar to my relationship with my liver? What if it's a reflection of my relationship with my liver? It doesn't have to be, I'm not saying it is, but what if it is? What if it's the equivalent of that? What if my relationship with my business partners is a mirror, a literal reflection of my relationship with my pancreas and my spleen? What if my relationship with money is literally, what if it could be a reflection of my relationship with my lungs or my throat? What if, I'm not saying that any of these are true. I don't know. What if everything that I have ever perceived in my entire existence, what if everything that I have ever perceived as being outside of me is literally to the nth degree only a reflection of what was going on inside of me? What if that's true on levels that, even though I've toyed with it intellectually, what if it's true in ways beyond anything I have ever allowed in? What if everything I have ever seen and heard around me isn't what I perceived it to be? And what if I was infinitely off and infinitely erroneous and infinitely inaccurate? What if literally every single voice, every word that has ever been outside of me emanated from within me? What if every frown that I have ever seen directed to me was actually my own frown directed at myself? What if every time anybody tried to tell me how the universe was, even in their conflicting, this guy says it's that way, these people say it's that way, this book over here that I really look to as a source of expertise, I forgot that I wrote the fucker through that person so that I could find it and be more confused. Why'd I finally let that shit in? That every one of those conflicting voices are my conflicting voices. And as long as I'm trying to chase any one of them, I'm running from others, and it's all me, and that shit doesn't work. It creates splits that are going to show up in my life and in my body and in my relationships. And I wake up to realize that my only tormentor all along was that part of me left over from yesterday, that which I think and believe that I know. And I thought it was him and them and her, and then I try to navigate, negotiate. How do I respond to these things that are actually, I've forgotten, are me? And I respond to them from the same energy. So I'm doing what Einstein said we can't do, which is trying to solve the problems with the same level of thinking I was at when I created them. Trying to solve my problems with the energy and the level of awareness that makes me believe there are problems. Tying my ankles together with a steel chain while preparing for the race. Why did I finally let that shit go? Preparing for the big fight by chaining my wrists to my ankles. All the while believing that there was a fight, or a need to fight, or a benefit from fighting. Was there anything I could ever fight other than myself? Well, apparently I believed there was. And I'm willing to let that change. And why did I finally become willing to let that change? And when I did, why did everything change? Why did I finally say, fuck it, I'm perfect? And I don't care what they say. I just created them to convince me that I wasn't perfect. And they did a great job. And why did I lay all my weapons and all my shields down? And why, when I took that moment to lay down all my weapons and all my defenses, did I realize there was no fight? Why did I let that miracle in? Why did I let that miracle in? And when I did, why did everything change? And why suddenly am I surrounded by all the spears and arrows that were flying at me, all turned into rose petals? Why did I let that happen? Why did I finally realize that that was the truth all along? Why did I realize I don't have to be a strong woman? I can be a powerful feminine that's infinitely more powerful than anything I was ever going to do as a strong woman. Why did I finally realize that living from inspiration taps into my infinite power, while living as a driven woman sets me in opposition to everything? Why did I finally let in that I don't need a crisis to be able to fucking shine? Why did I finally let in that I don't need a crisis to shine? I can shine without a crisis. Why did I finally let that in? Why did I finally realize that I don't need a crisis to shine? Why did I finally realize I don't need an enemy to overcome? Why did I finally let in the magical truth that Brian can still talk even with a pretzel in his mouth? Why did I finally let in that I don't need a fucking war in order to find peace? Why did I learn I don't need a battle in order to get what I want? Why did I let in that I don't need a crisis to overcome, to be victorious? And I don't need an enemy in order to have friends? Why did I finally let in that I don't need enemies in order to have friends? Breathe deep. Why did I finally let in that I don't need enemies in order to have friends? Why did I finally let in the radical, transformative, wholeness reflecting truth that I don't need enemies in order to have friends? I don't need a struggle in order to get to ease. And I don't need sickness in order to be loved. Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did everything change? And why do I cry so easy? And when I cry, why do I now know that with this breathing, I'm actually letting the emotion be expressed so that it can return back to infinite possibilities, never needing to arise again? Why am I willing now to do that? Why did I finally realize that I don't need difficult to get to ease? Effortlessness was here the whole time. I don't need a battle to get to peace. Peace was here the whole time. I don't need to work my way through hate to get to love. Love's here the whole time. I don't need to continually create the illusion of darkness in order to appreciate the fact that light is all there is. Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did everything change? Why did I finally let in that I don't need to go through punishment to get to grace? That it's ever present. Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did I smile so big and feel so amazing? Why did I finally realize that I can just be whole? I can just breathe and be totally resourced all the time. Why did I finally let that in? I can just be resourced all the time. It's like infinitely always there, abundance, true abundance, literal abundance. All I could ever want and need in an endless supply, always there for me. Why did I finally let that in? Why did I finally let in that money can be easy? In fact, money can be effortless. Why did I finally let it in? That I can have money and peace. Why did I finally let that in? And when I did, why did everything change? Why did I realize not only that I can have it all, but all I got to do is actually look and listen and realize everything I see and hear is not only mine, it's me. Why did I finally let that in? And now it's just a matter of smiling and breathing and allowing in that which I already am. Oh, wait, I know, because I thought some of those things were bad. Well, why'd I finally let that shit go too? Why'd I begin to remember that everything is me? And all those things that I don't like and that I fear and hate and defended myself against were only parts of myself that I forgot were me. And then I started to fight against them, and then I got stuck in that. And why'd I finally lay it all down? And in the moment, just like if I was looking in a mirror and looking at a frown, and I kept trying to reach out to the mirror and force the frown into a smile, and I keep frowning bigger because it's not working, but then I smile and there's a smile in the mirror. Why similarly, when I laid down all my weapons and all my defenses at the same time, did I realize that then there was no fight? Because I was the only one holding weapons and defenses, no matter how it looked, no matter how it looked, no matter how it looked. Why'd I finally let it in? It was all me. And now, from this moment forward, should I ever perceive, thank you, my love, should I ever perceive a threat or an attack, I can just breathe and be present and ask, how is this actually for me? And how is this mine? How is this me? With no blame or fault of any kind. It's curiosity. Oh, how's this for me? Oh, wow. So I thought that too. Wow. What do I prefer? And I meet it with love, and I breathe through it, and I enlarge as I reintegrate that part of myself. And I realize everything they ever did to me was for me, and it's no longer theory. I know it, I feel it, and I actually can find true literal gratitude for everything, knowing they're not actually separate things. They're aspects of the mirror. And the mirror is me. Why do I find it so effortless to know this and to live it, to allow it into my experience? Why is it that I can do anything I want? And if I quit flowing the energy of resistance into everybody around me, they would stop resisting. Why do I finally get that? Why do I feel so inspired to do radical forgiveness worksheets on people one after another? And to just allow the magnitude of this multidimensional miracle to all come in at one time. Why not? Why'd I finally say, yeah, fuck it. Bliss. All right. I did what I said, projected out of eternity into time and space, went through hell, 50 something years. It was awesome. Fuck, that shit hurt. And then I said, you know what? I think that I'm done. I'm ready for bliss. So why did I choose this mirror now? Brian showing up in front of me, reminding me of this. Why did I choose this? I must be ready for this. And I did let myself hit the lowest place so that I could really make the choice. Shit hurt. It was an illusion too, but goddamn, Einstein's right. It was a convincing illusion if there ever was one. Shit hurt. And I do realize that I can choose bliss. And if I walk around the corner and I stub my toe and I go back into feeling those sensations again, this time I can choose to remember what's actually happening. And I can breathe through that too. And as I do, that pain transmutes as well as the last one I just did. As the momentum into my heavenly ascension re-emerging into the bliss that I always was, that was always waiting for me. Fuck it. Why did I finally decide to just do that? Why did I finally decide to just love the whole mirror? Everything in it. That too. That too. Love my planet. Love my country. I love my president. I made that shit. And if it shows up, it's me. If it shows up, it's me. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And the parts that I find the most difficult to love are going to yield the greatest return on investment when I meet them with love too. Because the things I hate and fear the most hold the most juice. The bigger the thing looks, the bigger love I meet it with. Until I finally realized that giant, scary, hairy monster that's been chasing me, that huge, scary, hairy, clawy, toothy, growling, terrifying, giant monster that's been chasing me all this time is an inflatable toy that was plugged into me. And the minute I unplugged the power source, right down to the ground, no power whatsoever. I was the one animating that whole shit. Oh, yes, I was. Yeah, I was. That one too. Oh, that one too. I just unplugged the, oh, look, that one's plugged in right here. Let me pop that one out. Another one bites the dust. But I'm not going to turn around and fight it, because if I turn around and fight it, it actually sends more energy through the cord into the beast. Oh, they didn't tell me about that one in Sunday school. I'm going on a beast unplugging vacation. The more I breathe into me, the more I withdraw my energy from all of them. They just start dwindling away. They start literally disappearing. While I'm becoming more and more resourceful, so that should I meet any traces of them on the path, I just breathe them up too. And boy, those radical forgiveness worksheets, they work so good. They just work so good. Unplug another one. And they always come back acting different after I unplug them. They no longer are acting on the command that I was the one putting out to fuck me over.
Thank you.
Welcome. Aloha.